Three pilgrims went walking down to Bethlehem one day with a shining star high above their head. And I saw Jupiter and Saturn's paths crossing on their way in an ever-cosmic shaking of hands. Out here on the border you can walk for days and days, and the only thing you'll find is what they call nothing. Singing lonesome, lonesome. And they say an ancient river came to wash it all away, and the only water left is ever leaving. Call it lonesome, lonesome. There was a pilgrim walking across the Rio Grande one day with a jug of water balanced on his head. And I've seen that young Aquarius, and I have seen the sun, and I've seen the turning ages of men. Out here on the border there's a lonesome wind that blows, and it leaves behind the silence of the evening, singing lonesome, lonesome. And somewhere an ancient century grows far away from everything, just waiting for its time to start blooming, singing lonesome, lonesome.
Well, the song is about, I spent a lot of time camping in a 13-foot trailer, and we spent a lot of time in West Texas where we were watching Jupiter and Saturn come together every single night. You know, the sun would set, the moon would come up, and right there would be Jupiter and Saturn. And West Texas is just such a beautiful place, and its loneliness and its just emptiness and openness. And I feel like a lot of people don't experience that, but it's so alive and vibrant, but also so very quiet. And you really get to experience the desert in a way that, or just nature in a way that I feel like a lot of people don't get to unless they go out there.
Since we're talking to Acoustic Guitar Magazine, David was just learning open tunings. So I think you learned Arthur McBride in that tuning, and then you just went nuts and started writing songs in that?
Lakes of Pontchartrain.
Oh,
yeah,
fair enough.
But very similar. But yeah, I learned the Lakes of Pontchartrain, and it basically has the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 chords. And once you have all those shapes in these cool little ways, you can just you can make a million songs. And so that's kind of how this one came out, and a lot of others actually that are on our album.
And the extended violin techniques are just me trying to sound like the wind. I have to give, on the album, if you hear the recorded track, I have to give Bridget Carney, our producer, the credit, because she had this Moog synthesizer that she programmed somehow to sound exactly like the wind. It was insane, but you can hear it on the album. That's what happens.
Down by the river in the morning I saw the birdies waking underneath the branches of the oak and maple. I proclaimed the Illinois River ain't never gonna save me. Wide and muddy and the banks are too unstable. Oh muddy, it's wide and muddy and the banks are If I was a looker, I'd find a pretty lady. Tried my best, but women can be fickle. Nobody. I tried my best, but women can be. Down by the river in the evening, the sun was soft and golden. Crickets and the birds all sang for me to listen. I proclaimed the Illinois River could swallow me up whole, and not a soul would know that I was missing. Nobody, oh, not a soul would know that I was missing.
We wrote this one together.
Yeah,
actually.
this one was a complete
Yeah.
complete and utter co-write.
I wrote the melody on the banjo. I used to just play that little fiddle line on the banjo, and then when we recorded it, I recorded it on the banjo. But we don't travel around with the banjo because that's another bag to check. And I don't know if you've been in this economy, but it's tough. Also, we're from Illinois, from Peoria, Illinois, which is a river town, and I feel like the places that we've lived, we're often drawn to write about in our songs. So the Lonesome song was took place in Texas. We lived in Austin, Texas for 5 years. Very formative time in our lives. I have another song called Ranch Road 12 on the album that's, very a story about Texas, but place names, but, not exactly about us, but inspired by the places and the people that we've met,
Yeah.
So yeah, this one's definitely like
It's an invention of a character that we knew too well, and just traveling the country, you meet all different kinds of people, and the coastal cities are so much different than like the Midwest, and just people that we've met, and this is kind of a culmination of.
This is a character.
It's a story of a character, yeah.
But an old man, sad old man.
Riverside, the roots would keep the river low and my old home dry. But the money always finds a good thing going, and it takes it for a ride. Those men, they took all the good wood from my old hometown. They paid fair wage until the trees had all been floated down. And just like the trees, a river carried all the money down to Morgantown.
Morgantown's kind of a reflection of a voice memo of my good friend's grandmother talking about her old home in West Virginia. She talks so beautifully about, her little house, and there was a bridge over the river, and she would watch the men work, and they would, chop down trees and float them down the river. And I'm just thinking about all of our travels to West Virginia. There's still a lot of extreme beauty, but I know that tops of the mountains have been blown off. A lot of the trees, a lot of the forests aren't even there anymore. The forest that she ended the recording on the iPhone with, and none of it's there anymore. And I was like, damn, that's a vibe. And I don't have any solutions to any of those problems, but I'm aware. I'm good at pointing a finger.
Yeah.